Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of What's on Your Mind. I'm Oscar, and I'm joined by, as always, my good friend Bradley Butler, who moments ago just killed his dog. Why?
He's barking. I love the way you say I'm Oscar and then you like say my entire government name, like trying to expose me for killing my dog or something. But
Well,
my dog
you
is
just
well and alive. He just got told to shut up. In a peaceful way.
that's not what you WhatsApp me.
Yeah, well, stop exposing my WhatsApp you, man. Because I'm gonna WhatsApp you something that you don't want to see. Right. So, what are we talking about today, Oscar?
So today we are gonna be trading. By the way, I completely messed up that intro as well because I didn't ask you what's on your mind either.
What's that?
I messed up that intro because usually we were meant to start with what's on your mind, and I just completely fucked that up.
Oh
And I
well,
went with the
it
killing
is what
dog
it
thing.
is. It happens. Life happens. So,
But today
yeah.
we're going to be doing some deep questions.
Yep, we're going to be asking each of us some deep questions. To be honest, that was like the whole point of this podcast. Right? That's the whole thing that started this podcast.
Yeah, it's very true.
Was us just asking each other like really deep questions and then just sort of answering them, I guess. Right.
Like
So
debating them.
yeah, basically. We have another podcast episode idea that we want to get into, but it's going to take a little bit of a while to plan. Um, I'll tell you what it is, so you sort of know. Me and Oscar are gonna have like a little episode where we discuss things that we actually disagree on and try and debate about them. Um,
Yeah,
but the main thing is trying to find what we actually do disagree on.
very true. Might
So,
be a bit tough.
who wants to start with the questions? Do you want me to start with a question? I've got plenty of questions. I got like 25 written down.
Yeah, go for it. This might be a two-parter.
Um, you never know. Uh, so this one's like kind of simple. Like, what do you like most about people?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, well, like in general?
Yeah, so like, what do you like about people? Like in general, what do you like about them?
Uh, you know what? I think I like there's um, and I don't know if this is kind of what you're going for, but I like there's diverse. You know what I mean? There's diversity in people. Like, for example, at my work, you know, there's different people from like different backgrounds, different
Do
religions,
you mean
etc.
like everyone's unique?
Yeah, not everyone's the same.
I mean, yeah, I get that because a lot of that is it's true, isn't it? Like a lot of humans are unique. Everyone's sort of unique in their own way. Which is not like the question like what is normal? Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's so
Yeah.
different. What constitutes as normal? Okay, yeah, I get you. I get you. What do you? Okay,
What about you?
what about me?
Yeah,
I don't like many people to be honest. Um,
fair play, honest.
I guess the people that do things that are like great, like the people who do great things and don't get like public recognition for it, and they continue to do those things every day. Things like firefighters, police officers, soldiers, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um, there's a lot of great humanity within humanity. Like it's not all that we're not all. Like, the entire population of the planet isn't evil. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
There's a lot
I
of
hear
good
you
in the
that.
world
Yeah.
that does outweigh the bad. It's just we hear about the bad because that's what gets clicks and views. You know what I mean? So
Unfortunately, the bad outweighs the good sometimes.
well, I blame social media for that personally, but yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
We'll get into that in a bit. But
makes sense.
on the other side of the spectrum, what do you dislike most about people?
Uh, I think people that are ignorant and arrogant. I think that is probably it. Or
Yeah, I hate
the
arrogance and I hate ignorance. Hypocrisy is the biggest one as well.
yeah, that's a good one. I just think it's okay to be good at something, or it's okay to know something, but don't bloody show it off 100 times.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, there's a difference between self confidence and self love and arrogance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Arrogance is
yeah,
thinking that you're better than everyone. Confidence is like knowing that you're good at it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, and I think some people don't know when. No, I think some people do know when that line is crossed, and they just do it anyway.
A lot of people are assholes. That's the thing.
Um,
Do you have a
yeah.
question, or do you want me to ask another one?
No, I got a question for you, mate. I
All
got
right,
a
yeah,
question.
go.
Is someone, and again, these are totally random, they came into my head. Is someone born racist or they brought up a racist?
No, they're brought up. It's
You think?
racism, homophobia, everything like that. Every personal view is based on one's environment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I've grown up around. There's some members of my family that are slightly racist.
Yeah.
You know, and as a kid, I was obviously ignorant to that, so I thought that was the norm. Then as I
Mm-hmm.
grew up, I grew out of that sort of stupid shit. My views completely changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely an environmental factor, in my opinion. To be honest, I don't even know if it's an opinion. I feel like it's more of a fact. Like, you can't be born racist. Like, nobody's
No, I
born with
guess
the
it's not.
hatred of like a black person. Where do they get that from? They get that from their influential authority figures, like their parents and stuff. So I think it's environmental. What about you? Do you
Yeah.
think that?
No, that answer makes sense because I don't. If you're yeah, because I guess if you're racist, it's more to do with your upbringing, isn't it?
Well, I'm sorry,
Or
but
environment around you.
I feel like it's a bit weird. I think it'd be very weird biologically how someone can be born to hate a specific race or something like that.
Yeah, that would be a bit strange, wouldn't it?
It'd be very weird, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's
So,
some power.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but if it was, if you were born racist, I feel like it's something that you can't really change, right? So, but there are people out there that change their point of view based on learning instead of, but they brought up in that ignorance bubble of racism.
Yeah,
So
I get you.
I definitely think it's upbringing more than, but it's not necessarily upbringing either. It can be traumatic events. There have been cases where someone's been quite racist because, like, say, a family member is like sexually assaulted by like five black guys. There's that traumatic events can trigger that sort of hate for that specific race. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's
So I
yeah,
don't think it's
that's
necessarily upbringing. I think it's circumstances more than anything. Not even. Do you know what? To be honest, I changed my mind. It's not even environment. It's literally circumstance. You grow up in a racist family. You might end up sharing those views, but some people don't. Some people grow up without being that ignorant. Realize, you know, oh, there's no point being racist.
yeah.
So yeah,
No, that's yeah, that's good. Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah. You got another question, or do you want me to ask another one?
Now let's go one each.
All right. Um. All right. This one's quite deep. This one, cause I really want to ask this one, so I want to get this one in early.
Mhm.
Um. What's your favorite thing about our friendship?
Uh, uh, Bloody hell, that is deep. Favorite thing about our friendship. You know what? I think it's
That's a balls deep question, that bro.
yeah. People are gonna just be like, some friend he is. He had to think about it.
I mean, I feel like if you automatically know, I feel like it's less fake if you have to think about, because there's so many positive aspects to a friendship, but what is your favorite part of it? Do you know what I mean? So it's quite hard to think about.
it's not like it's not something you think about every day. Do you know what I mean?
No, because you just love being their friends, so you're their friend, but you don't really know like why or stuff like that.
You know what it is? I think that the first thing that comes to mind is like understanding. Like, and what I mean by that is like we get each other pretty well. Does that make sense? Like you and
Yeah, I
I.
think we have a good flow with each other. we're definitely kind of opposites. Do you know what I mean? In like terms of life, like
Yeah, we are.
our
We really are.
personalities, we're definitely opposite. I think that's what makes it great.
I think yeah, that's another really good point. Like we are complete sort of
We
opposites. I mean,
basically are opposites, but we're somewhere in the middle where we merge with the same personality. You know what I mean, there's something about
some
our
way,
personality.
somehow,
Huh?
some way, somehow.
Some way, somehow, there's something that merges together that causes us to be friends. Um, but yeah, I get you. Understanding, we understand each other, and I feel
I
like we
mean,
listen to each other quite well.
I mean, kind of. I'm gonna ask you a question based on this. Had we let's say for example, had you not been into editing, like when we met in college, had we both not, let's say you weren't into editing like I was, would we be friends?
Yeah, I think so.
You
I have
you think
friends that
so?
I have nothing in common with, to be honest. If
No,
I'm all
like
honest,
as in like would because I feel like the editing thing kind of like sparked it. Do you know what I mean?
I think the editing gave us a path to go down to become a friend, like for it to become a friendship. But
Yeah.
I think that was just a kickstart more than like a defining factor of our friendship.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, we love editing, but at the end of the day, like, here we are on a podcast talking about completely different things because we
I know,
enjoy
right?
doing
I
such a
know.
thing. Like, to be honest, we barely talk about editing anymore. If you think
Yeah.
about it, we mostly just talk about stuff in life. At the end of the day, it's the same with me and Oscar, right? Me and Oscar Wilson, like, we're like the best mates, but we don't necessarily have loads in common. But
Yeah.
we share the same sort of humor, same sort of personalities, things like that. But I think it was just a shared interest that sparked the path to a friendship. But I don't think it would be if um if we carried on talking, there was no reason that we couldn't be friends.
Nope, absolutely right. Yeah, yeah,
I
absolutely
got
right.
nothing against you. There's nothing to hold against you. So what's the point of not being friends?
What about you?
What?
Like, as in, like, what's your favorite?
Oh, I have to say the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
I have to say the same. Like, we flow very well. We have good conversations. Um, we're both, like I said, we're both opposites. Like, my sense of humor is quite dark and vulgar, and
I mean,
and you
go
you you find it funny and you find it like shocking at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's like, but at the end of the day, there's always that like genuine mutual respect. You know, like that conversation we had last night. I'd make a joke about something, but then I'd get down to it like, yeah, but for real, like what's going on in that situation and things. You know what I mean?
but it's interesting you say you have, like, a dark, vulgar sense of humor. Yeah, you mentioned, like, hypocrisy in that
Mm.
first question, right? Don't forget, I watch, Jimmy Carr, right? So I'd be a hypocrite myself to criticize your humor.
No, I don't think you criticize my humor. There's a shock factor to it,
Well,
which
if I were to criticize it rather, sorry.
like, because you don't like Jimmy Carr, you don't criticize his humor. You find it funny, but it's a shock factor to you. Right? You're like, oh, I can't believe you said that, but it's funny. You know what I mean?
I guess that's right, yeah,
That's sort
yeah.
of similar with the things I say. You're like, Jesus Christ. You're like, like I'll make a joke about like with about a girl with you. And you'll be like, fuck off, like like laughing about it. But
Yeah, fuck off, mate.
obviously, it's not your kind of personality to make that joke yourself. But I think
'Cause, like,
the best thing about our friendship is that we understand each other.
it's funny you say that because, um, on Sunday, I said, "Can I ask your advice on something?" And immediately you said to me, "Always pull out."
Do you know what? Speaking of hypocrisy, I don't know why I told you that. I can't say
Yeah.
shit. I just called myself out for that. Like, I can't. Like, when I tell people, like, when I make a joke, like, don't be silly, wrap your willy. Like, I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world for that. Um,
'Cause, like, yeah, because I wanted advice, you were like, "Always pull out." So I just said to you, "Fuck off," and then you were like, "That's rude."
yeah, that was a bit rude. um, But in the end, I gave you. I feel like I gave you decent advice in the end.
Always pull out is not the advice I was looking for.
Well, it's good advice, is it not?
That's not what. It doesn't matter. What's the
I
matter with
I
you?
guarantee in the future he'll be using that. He'll be using that advice. I guarantee it.
Well, probably, yeah.
Exactly.
Doesn't-
So at the end of the at the end of the day, man, you know, I'm my advice is the thing you don't need, but you no that you don't want but you need. You know. So
Guys, I was in serious need of help, and he decided just to message me that. How
yeah.
disgraceful!
Sometimes I just give Oscar like quotes of wisdom throughout life. You know,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What part of that is wisdom to you?
avoid pregnancy, I guess. I don't know.
That's actually pretty good advice.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Moving on. So you got a question for me now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got some written down, but I don't know. Oh, here we are. I got this is kind of a deep one as well.
Mm.
What are dreams to you?
What are dreams in terms of what
Like,
like dreams like in life or like just dreams that you have when you fall asleep?
like when you fall asleep. Yeah, I should have made that clear. Sorry, yeah, when you fall asleep.
I think they're a message from your subconscious
Mm, okay.
because they always say that dreams have a meaning, right? Like if you have a dream that you are cheating on your partner, they say that you're not necessarily cheating on your partner, but there's something in life that you feel guilty about that you need to talk to your partner about. Um,
Yeah,
and stuff like that, or you know, if there's, you know, you're having a dream where, like, I have a lot of dreams where I always have a fight with my dad, like
yeah,
a lot. Like I'll have a fight with my dad, or I'll kill my dad, like a lot. Um, but the thing is, there's a lot of pain in that dream for me. It's not just anger; it's pain. Like I had a dream a while ago, a couple of weeks ago. I remember it quite vividly because it was quite traumatic. Where basically my dad basically told me he didn't love me and stuff like that, and like I remember in the dream I was like I basically broke down from it, and I think that is like a sort of link to um obviously my father issues and things, my daddy issues. I think
yeah,
dreams are like not getting all deep. You don't need to. There's no sympathy here, guys. Okay, I'm just stating, using it as an example. I think it's your mind, sort of your brain. I don't know, trying to process the way you truly feel, because there's a
yeah,
lot of the time where people don't actually know how they really feel. Like as a kid, when I went to therapy, I didn't realize how much anger I actually had towards my dad, and I think after that was when I realized how much of an asshole my dad actually was. As a kid, I'd always like, you know, want I'd always like think I wouldn't think bad about my dad like my sister or my mum would because I didn't understand it. But then when I went to therapy, you know, it all came out that I had a lot of resentment and anger towards my dad. So I think people don't truly know how they feel about things. So I feel like
yeah,
dreams are just their way of saying things. And sometimes, to be honest, man, there are dreams where I have no idea what the fuck they're supposed to mean. You know, like when you're getting chased by a dinosaur, like what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Do you know what I mean? But I think there's always a meaning behind it. So I think it is just genuinely your subconscious.
yeah. That makes a lot of sense. That's a really solid answer, I think. Yeah.
What do you think they are?
You know what? That was a really bad question because I actually didn't think about my answer.
Because I know there's some people
uh,
that go, "Oh, it's like your alternate self." You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I've had some strange dreams. Um, I've got one dream I want to tell. I want to say.
Yeah,
You know what? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
go for it.
So when I lost a family member to COVID
Yeah,
2 years ago, a few days later, I had I had a few dreams, but this one particular dream has stuck with me ever since.
yeah,
And the dream goes like this: me and this person were in the kitchen talking, like usual, like nothing had happened.
yeah.
We're talking, but the twist, I guess you could say, was this person knew he passed away, and this person knew that I was dreaming. And conversation goes on, and they just say to me, it's okay," and it fades out.
That sounds to me like it could have been a bit of a lucid dream where you know that you're dreaming.
But you think?
Maybe like I also think it maybe might be your mind trying to deal with the grief of the loss of that person.
Maybe,
Like by
maybe.
telling itself, it's okay, everything's gonna be fine.
And the funny thing is, like, so yeah, so they knew I was dreaming, and I think in the dream I was sort of confused. And then when I woke up, I wasn't sad and I wasn't happy. I
Yeah.
was just really confused, like for real.
Yeah, I mean it's probably your mind trying to tell you, like it's gonna be fine. You can get through this. Because at the end of the day, the best motivator in life is yourself.
Mm,
The only person you can really take advice from is your own brain. So
very true.
it's it's like I mean that advice thing's not necessarily true because obviously you can get advice from other people, but it's your brain that chooses whether or not to follow from it. So it's I think it could be that. I mean, unless you want to look into it like more spiritually, maybe in them like their soul or spirit telling you, in your dream. But
I had a
if we're looking at
few.
it like from like I guess a realistic perspective, I think it's your mind sort of telling you, it's gonna be okay.
I had a few of those answers where some people say, "Oh, it's kind of like him, talking to you and stuff."
I mean, that would
Yeah,
be the best case scenario, right? Like he genuinely connected with you and told you, everything's gonna be fine. Like that would be a nice thing for it to be true. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Also, not gonna lie, slightly rude. He barged in my dream. How dare he?
Yeah, you could have been dreaming about fucking anything, and he just like comes in. Like imagine.
Just bar. Excuse me, I'm
Having a
trying to dream
saucy
here.
dream, he just barges in and goes, yo, it's going to be okay. And you're just like, yeah, well, it was okay until you came into the bloody room.
It's like, excuse me, I'm trying to dream here. Can you
Yeah,
leave and
I'm
come back later?
trying to escape the reality that is my life.
Yeah, and you just barged in without even knocking on the door that doesn't even exist in my head.
Yeah. I mean, have you noticed that you can't run in dreams?
I haven't actually. No, is that true?
I don't think I've never been able to run in my dream. I've never been able to jump properly. Like there's no gravity. And I think that's
Yeah.
because your body um can't physically do it, so your brain can't process it properly.
Have you ever had the falling dream?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate those.
There's a theory that it's angels taking you up to heaven, but they accidentally drop you.
Did you drop us?
They fall fast.
No, as in, what you say the theory was that they drop
Oh,
you?
they drop you, and then your soul falls back into your body.
What a bunch of assholes! They drop you.
I know, right? How rude. And if anything, I know it's not true because if anything, I'd be being dragged down, not taken up.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Also, we could get seriously hurt.
I'm gonna call injury lawyers for you for that shit, bruh. Alright, okay. I got one. I got one. This one's quite deep. This is a balls deep question, alright?
Mhm.
How am I doing as your friend, and how can I be a better friend to you?
Shit. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, alright, well, this podcast is done. Guys, it's been an honour to do this podcast. I'm sad it's over already, but it is what it is. So,
Um,
like, this is an honest question. I'm not gonna be mad because, like, this could improve friendship. How am I doing as your friend, and how can I be a better friend to you?
I'm really fortunate in the fact that such as yourself, or I'm like I've got a good group of friends around me, and now speaking about you specifically, I don't really. There's nothing you can do better because like you're doing everything you can, sort of thing. I base friendship off. I don't. There's no real. There's not. Well, I say I don't really base off anything, but kind of just like I guess usual things, if that makes sense. So like respect, sort of thing. Being there for one another. I mean, you was there for me when I lost that family member. That meant a lot. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it's stuff like that that I value. I don't really look. I've never looked at it in terms of friendship. I've never looked at it as, oh, I wish he or she could do that better. You know, I've never done that sort of thing. So I can't answer that second part, but that first part is my answer. If that makes sense.
Okay. 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 All right. Fair enough. All
Cool.
right. On to your question.
Um,
I got my answer would basically be the same. There's not really, there's not really much to improve on really because we're friends and there's nothing that's ever gone wrong. So
yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Um, when we when we go to sleep, do you find it strange, just like it's quick that we wake up? As in, not wake up, but like it goes by in a flash almost.
But you mean like how dreams, like you mean like how we go to sleep and then suddenly wake up?
Yeah,
No, because I think that I don't find it. I find it like cool. I don't find it weird. I find it interesting how our brains can basically shut itself off essentially. Um, like say like 8 hours. I mean, I wish it was fucking 8 hours, but let's say 8 hours. It shuts off and then you suddenly wake up. It's a bit like how dreams are sometimes only like 5 minutes long,
yeah,
but yet you've been asleep for like 8 hours. Um, I I don't know. I don't think it's weird. I think it's interesting, and I don't think there's really. I'm pretty sure there's not really enough like research just yet to like understand our sleep process a
yeah.
lot. So I mean I don't know if there is. I could be wrong about that, but I I find it interesting. I don't find it weird. What about you? Do you find it weird or do you find it like
I just find it strange. It's like it's not the same at all. But since we're talking about waking up quickly, it's like when you get like anesthesia in like the surgery and like suddenly you're awake. That I find that really strange.
See, I've never had that. I've always found the idea of like how weird it would be if like one day say you passed out in your room and next thing you know you're
Oh,
waking up in a hospital bed.
I've had anesthesia. It's the weirdest thing in the
I
world.
feel like that would be weird because like obviously you're very confused and dazed and you have no idea what's going on.
You know what's funny, right? So I had to have surgery like 2013 for my tooth. Don't ask. Um, and then so I had it done, right? So like 1 minute,
Hmm?
so I was brought in this room, and of course I'm panicking because it's the first time having the surgery. Whoop de doo.
Yeah.
Um, and then like the next minute, um, all I remember, I can tell you what I remember. All I remember is going in there, panicking
Yeah.
because it was the first surgery I've ever had, so I'm panicking. And at that point in my life, I've got like a fear of hospitals as well, so I don't like it.
Right.
Um, and then I'm lying there, I'm panicking. They're calming me down. They put like this mask on me, and then yeah, like my mum was with me, so she just like kissed me on the head, and then next minute I knew I was awake in like this ward,
Yeah.
and I was sort of a bit dazed and confused, and this very jolly nurse that was next to me. She's like, "Oh, good, you're up. Let's go." I'm like, "Okay."
I've never experienced it, but I feel like it would be very weird, very strange.
Mhm.
Um. Okay. Um. I've got one.
Do it.
So this one could be quite deep. Could you bring yourself to kill? This is sort of a part. It's two parts. To this. Could you bring yourself to kill somebody else in defense?
Oh,
I know the answer to that before you ask me it. Like again, like I know for a fact that I could. If it meant saving my life, then yes, I would
oh, saving. Oh, that's a good point. Ah,
save my own life because it's self defense, right? And if you're gonna kill someone in self defense, it basically means your life against theirs. Because
yeah,
there's a way of self defending yourself with obviously without killing someone. You're not going to go for the kill if they're not like that kind of danger. But if they are that kind of danger, you're gonna like um gonna basically kill them. It's either them or you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if my life was at risk, then yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because I guess like if you, because otherwise you're just like you're allowing them to kill you,
Yeah.
basically.
Alright, another part to that question is, would you bring yourself to kill someone to save a friend's life?
Yeah, I
But
think so.
what if they were innocent?
Oh bloody hell! Now I wish I didn't say yes to
No,
that.
no, no, like you're thinking they're attacking your friend. Now think if you had a choice, your friend or someone completely innocent that you don't really know. Could you bring yourself to kill that person to save your
Oh,
friend's life?
I have no idea. They're innocent. Wait, do I know that they're innocent?
It just says what if they're innocent?
No, no, as in like in the scenario.
I
If
guess
I'm,
so. Like it's just a random person.
oh great.
Could be anyone.
Oh, I don't know. I hate this show. See what see guys, see that the verbal abuse I get here.
Oh, shut up. Answer the damn question, boy. Did you bring yourself to do it? You're allowed to say yes. It doesn't make you look like a scumbag.
I know, but it's the you know, yeah. The
My
thing is,
answer would be yes.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I don't know who this person is. Like, yeah, they may be innocent, but my friend might be innocent. And my friend is very dear to me. And I'm
I
sorry, but I
was
have no idea who this person is. So why would I choose them over my friend?
oh that's interesting. I was more thinking of it from like
Can't
yeah,
call me
obviously.
selfish, but like, I'd rather save my friend's life than some stranger.
Oh no 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 for sure for sure. I think I was just thinking like I'm taking. I thought I was gonna say I'm taking like an innocent life, but then they'd be
I
taking my
mean,
friend's life.
yeah, like you basically are killing somebody to save your friend's life. So you are taking their life.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I would. Yeah, because it's my friend.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's someone
it's
personal
someone
to
I
you,
care
right?
about.
Okay, okay. All right, that's my question for now.
The comments are gonna be like, "Man, this Oscar guy, what an asshole."
Nah, be alright. Alright, you got a
Um,
question?
let's see. Oh, you know what? This kind of I thought of this shortly after I asked you the one about racism. So, if someone was a racist, right, and
Okay.
they changed their views, would that change your view on that person?
Yeah, yeah, it would. Because this is what a lot of people disagree on, right? There's a lot of people out there like that believe if someone's racist, the best thing to do is teach them different. Don't just blindly hate on that person. Teach them different, right?
Hmm.
So if you teach them different, they understand what they've done wrong. They understand the pain that they've brought by saying things or doing things, and then they change their ways. People deserve that second chance because it doesn't. Because if they're willing to change, then why not give them that chance? Because that's what they want to do. They want to understand the pain that they've caused, or and things like that. Like there are people out there. There are literally like documentaries about KKK members now that are like activists for minority groups pain that they know that they've caused that person or those people by doing
Yeah.
and saying things. So why shouldn't they get that extra chance? Because there's a lot of the time it's like I said, it's circumstance and environment, right? So it's not necessarily their fault, right?
Yeah.
They've grown
Yeah.
up and their influential people in their life tells them, black people are disgusting, or gay people are disgusting, or never trust a black person, never trust a Chinese person. That's ingrained in them. But if they learn to change, they deserve that second chance to prove themselves to be a good person.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So, like obviously when there's some things you can't really come back from at the end of the day. Like, say if there was a KKK member and he killed a black person and then he saw the error of his ways, like you still can't really forgive him for killing somebody or taking somebody's life.
Yeah, that's true.
But you
Absolutely.
can
Yeah.
sort of understand, like you can say, okay, well, you've learned from your mistakes. I've, it- that's then you can move on. But personally, I I feel like I'm not really the one to give them that forgiveness. I don't feel like I have the right to do that. But if
Mhm.
they were like a personal friend of mine, then yeah, I'd say yeah, okay, I'm glad you saw the error of your ways. I'd be like the same with anything, really.
Yeah, that's a strong answer. Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I guess if you're brought up with that if you're brought up with someone who has that attitude, it's you're gonna kind of like develop that same attitude.
yeah, exactly. So it's like I said, a lot of the time they're not born racist. They're racism is like a environmental factor. So
Yeah,
if they change the way they are, then they can change the way they are. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. That's yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I'd accept them. Um, okay. I'm gonna pick like the deeper ones I've got written down here. Um, okay. Is there anything too serious to joke about? And what would that be if so?
Always pulling out. No, I'm joking. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that's ever been said.
Um, is there anything too? Yeah, I think so. Um,
What would they be?
I mean, again, these are just our opinions, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I guess in my head it'd be something like the Holocaust.
Right.
Um, but you know, I mean, we were talking about Jimmy Carter earlier, and he's done a joke on that, and I don't like that joke. I don't find it funny. Um,
Right.
um, I think stuff like that. I don't see how you make a light situation out of it. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that's the first thing that comes to mind. To be honest with you.
So I actually do disagree on that.
Okay, go on.
Because I feel like anything can be joked about, but there's a difference between a dark joke and being an asshole. A
Mhm.
dark joke's not literally out to offend somebody. Being an asshole is. So,
Yeah.
say if I'm making fun of the Holocaust to a Jewish person to upset them, that's me being an asshole. I can't
Mhm.
just turn around and go, "Oh, I'm joking. It's just a joke. Take a joke. It's just a dark joke." Whereas if I make it just a joke about something that happened within the Holocaust, that's just a dark joke. And to be honest, a lot of people use dark humor to process the horror of something.
Mhm.
Like, you can watch a documentary about the Holocaust and think, this is absolutely disgusting. The things that happen, it's just devastating. But then obviously, like, you'd make a joke to sort of just lighten the situation. You're not like making a light of the situation, but you're sort of lightening the mood basically. Because I've known this Jewish guy in college who he made jokes about the Holocaust because at the end of the day, like he'd rather joke about it than it can continuously be brought up to him as in a bad light. Like it's part of like history. Like
Yeah.
he believed like it shouldn't always be the thing that you associate Jewish people with. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of Jewish comedians out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
who make like really dark jokes about things. But I think it depends on the situation. I think it depends on the joke. There's like I said, there are some jokes that I think are more like leaning towards more being an arsehole instead of actually being a joke. Um,
Do you think it also depends on um not the person making the joke, but like for example,
the
you
audience.
know, I admit I can be quite I guess sensitive. Do you think
Yeah.
it depends on that as well?
Yeah, sort of. I think that I also think like you got to think like just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. You know. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
like I said, I think anything can be joked about in a certain context, but it's whether it's like the right time or place. Yeah.
I
Like
think you made a really good point. I think if someone is offended or upset by it, that doesn't make you right. It just means you didn't like that joke.
yeah. So like say if I made a joke about the Holocaust
Yeah,
to a friend of mine who like he's not Jewish. He's got a dark sense of humor. And he's not personally attacked. He's not personally attacked by that situation. He finds it funny. Like, why shouldn't I make that joke? Because at the
yeah,
end of the day, nobody's offended, and nobody's offended by that joke at that time. And it's not like I don't know how to say it. It's not like the situation would have changed because of my joke. You know what I mean? Like, I make a joke about the Holocaust. It's not like everyone's gonna suddenly hear it and then like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but there's a time and place for it, really.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um,
like the same with the audience. You go to watch a comedian like Jimmy Carr, you have to expect that kind of humor.
yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And I went to see Jimmy last year in person.
Yeah,
Um, now, you know, you just said if you're offended doesn't mean you're right. You know, that would be almost, I don't know if hypocritical is that word here. But if I went there, right, and I just complained about all the jokes he made, then like fucking
what's
hell,
the
what did I
point?
go there?
Yeah, it's also like you have to understand is that why can you joke about some things but not others? Why draw the line at the Holocaust, but you can joke about things like sexual assault or racism? But like,
That's a really
if
good
you
point, actually.
say you get sensitive about the Holocaust, that like I said, it doesn't make you right because at the end of the day, there are things that are happening today to people, to a lot of people, that people still make jokes about that people don't get offended about. Some people take some things personally, and some people don't take things personally. You know what I mean? Like so, I feel like it's like I said, it's time and place. It depends on the audience that you're telling the joke to. But I personally think you're allowed to joke about anything. Um, it just depends on who you're saying a joke to. But if you're making
Yeah,
like I said, there's a difference between being an asshole and making a joke.
I think
Like
I can't remember what show it was. Jimmy made like a statement like that once, and he said something very similar to you, I think. But his point was like, I'm just telling jokes. I'm not here to offend anyone. We're just here for a night out. And
that's
I
what I
thought,
mean is if your goal is to just tell a joke. I got a lot of that from Ricky Gervais. Like he said something like that as well. He said, I'm just telling a joke. I'm not actually out to offend anyone. Like I'm not personally looking to hurt somebody's feelings.
yeah,
I'm just there to say like a really dark joke or a really like deep joke. And at the
I
end of the
mean,
day, if
there's
you
different.
know who they are and you go there to see them, you know what kind of jokes to expect.
What
And
people gone?
like I got that quote, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. That is from Ricky Gervais as well. Like just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Just because you're
What
like if you're offended by one thing, why should I be allowed to joke about something else? Do you know what I mean?
what people I'm not gonna say cannot do because they probably do it anyway. What people shouldn't do is go to a comedian like Jimmy, go there, know what he's gonna say, and then just
And get pissed
sort
off
of,
about it.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like when you go to like someone like Jimmy Carr, Ricky Gervais, you know they're gonna make jokes about things like cancer and like I know Jimmy made a paedophile. Not Jimmy. Well, Jimmy's made loads of paedophile jokes, but like Ricky Gervais has made a pedo joke. Like if you go and see those people and you get offended by something that they say, just move on from that joke. Like you didn't find it funny, you found it in poor taste, then move on. Do you know what I mean? Don't make a big deal out of it. But at the end of the
What's
day,
the
you're not the only. The worst part is when someone gets offended for someone else. Like
Oh, I've not experienced that, but that just
it,
sounds really original.
that really annoys me the most. It's like I remember right. I've made a joke. I have a friend from Kuwait. Right, we were making really dark jokes towards each other. Right,
Yeah.
he made a joke about me being white and things like that. And he started making jokes about I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what, but yeah, he was making like because we had an American friend in our thing as well, and he was making school shooter jokes and things. And then I made it like a terrorist joke, right?
Okay.
Um, and we were laughing, but there was someone in the party who got offended for my friend about my terrorist joke.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there thinking, why are you offended by that?
Yeah.
For one thing, I'm not even
Absolutely.
targeting anything to do with you. Secondly, it's not even pointed. It's not even directed at you, let alone targeting towards anything to do. Like this guy was like a white English dude with like absolutely no religion, you
Yeah.
know, and things like that. And like he's getting offended about me making a terrorist joke to my Muslim friend after we were literally making these jokes together. Like, yeah, okay, we shouldn't have been doing it. It was kind of bad. But at the end of the day, we were all doing it together and we were all having a fun time because we all were taking the joke as a joke. Like I said, we weren't actually out to offend anyone. We were just being snarky and making comments and jokes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Literally no one else's business.
yeah, literally. So it's like, like if somebody makes a white boy joke to me, I'm not gonna be crying about it. I'm gonna find it funny. And if I make a joke back to them and they find that funny, no one has the right to be offended by that.
It's almost it's like the equivalent, right? Or I mean, it's not. I'm not comparing, but it's like you and I calling each other names on here, and someone else gets offended on behalf of either you or me.
Right? Yeah. Say you have like a Jewish background, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So say if say if I was like a Christian and you made a joke about Christ, and then I made a joke about Jewish people,
yeah,
and we both found that funny,
yeah.
no one has the right to get offended by that.
No, that's yeah, exactly right. Yep.
Because at the end of the day, the joke was directed towards each other, and we both found it in humor. We found humor in it. We didn't get offended. Nobody has the right to get offended for us.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah.
So that's that. So that was that. That was a bit of a tangent, but that's what I mean by like people getting offended by for someone else, essentially.
I think that kind of leads on to my next question. To be honest, I just thought of now,
Yeah,
guys. I'm so
I
unprofessional. I just think of these on the spot.
yeah I had a question that sort of did tie into that. Was what you sort of answered it for me. What's something you're sensitive about that you wish no one would joke about, which you kind of said was like the Holocaust, right?
I mean, the question I have is it's kind of more just I guess to get your opinion on myself in this regard. Okay, so Jimmy, so it's gonna go back to Jimmy. Shocker, I know. Um, so as I said, he's made a joke about the Holocaust, right?
Yeah.
So I remember. I mean, it happened like it's online. Like it happened at like he does this segment where like he does like the most offensive jokes to see who he can offend, sort of
Yeah.
thing. Again, it's all in good fun. Like he's not out to really target anyone or anything. But anyway, so he does the Holocaust joke, and now my question is, I guess, what's happened in my head? And I asked this in regards to I watched it and like I wanted to like laugh, but like I felt guilty. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah, I get that. It's like when you watch something on TikTok, you just know that you're gonna go to hell for laughing at it, not be
Yeah.
laughing at such a thing. And the thing is, you look at the comments and everyone's just like, "I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell for laughing at this." Like, there's
But then I
things that
think,
you shouldn't be laughing at, but you laugh at and you feel guilty about it.
but then
You
I
know?
think it goes back to, um, and again, I'm not that type of guy to just like complain about him. I chose to watch him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that is that me being too sensitive, or is that just me sort of not
You
knowing
found
how?
it funny, right?
I was close to laughing. I
So you
understood
found
it.
it funny, but you felt guilty about laughing. That's not you being too sensitive. That's you being more sympathetic towards people that might be offended by the joke.
What do
Like,
you think?
I mean, at the end of the day, right? Like I said, you know, you've got Jewish heritage,
Hmm.
so maybe internally you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't laugh at that because of the things that happened to my people.
Oh, I see what you mean. Maybe like subconsciously sort of thing.
Yeah, sort of. But like at the end of the day, it doesn't mean you're too sensitive because more sensitive would be like, oh yeah, no, you shouldn't joke about it. You shouldn't. But like again, it brings back to like you can't be offended by one thing and not another. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but like things like these days are happening, real things like sexual assault, child abuse, and if you joke about that and you laugh about that, but then you get offended by something that happened in the past, like the Holocaust or um, like slavery and things like that, you have no right to be offended, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? But I personally
Yeah.
don't think that you were offended. You just have more of a guilty conscience for
No, I don't
finding it
think.
funny.
I don't think. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was offended, right? Because
I mean, you said you were
it
close to laughing. That's not being offended at all.
no, I'm not offended, but it's a weird one, right? Because I don't understand, and maybe this is more like maybe this is another thing to discuss. I wonder if this is like a psychological thing where I'm laughing at some things and not others. It sounds really bad, I know, but I don't know.
I mean, I get it. Like my childhood hero was Steve Irwin, right? When
Yeah.
people make a joke about his death, I get kind of personally. It's like, no, don't say that, don't say that. But then I'll make like a really, really bad dark joke like 2 hours later about something else.
Hmm.
Um, but like deep down, I'm not actually offended. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I take it
Yeah.
as the joke that it's supposed to be.
I mean,
Like if I
looking at
die, if I die and my mates were making memes about my death, I would personally would not be rolling in my grave about it. I'd be like, bro, it's funny. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
say if I died in a car crash, right?
Yeah.
And then I like, oh, I had Brad on Xbox, but he's constantly on the dashboard. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's funny. You can fucking, that's a joke. That's funny. I'd happily let my friends make that type of jokes about me being dead. But if someone went up to my fucking sister and was like, "Lol, your brother's dead. I bet he's burning in hell." That's just being an asshole. That's not
I
funny.
can't. I can't believe I just laughed at that Xbox joke. Jesus
But
Christ.
but that's funny. Do you know what I mean? It's dark. It's funny, and the thing is, it makes a light of a situation that because some people don't really know how to process the horror of things, so they
That's true.
make jokes. Like I make jokes about my dad, and with my ex, like she'd be really uncomfortable when I make those jokes because there's a lot of pain realistically, but I make the jokes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like me and my cousin Will, um he said I remember his dad buying him a pizza once while we were all playing a game together. I went, oh, could you imagine your dad actually coming around and buying you things? And he's like, yeah, I imagine you don't have a dad, right? And I was like, oh. But realistically, I'm not offended. It was funny to me. She was
Yeah.
getting uncomfortable because, it's not something that she thinks that she'd be joking about. But, like, at the end of the day, we were laughing. Because it's something
Yeah.
that it's painful to me. Like, deep down, it's traumatic pain. But it's how I deal with it and how I process it. And, like, nobody can get offended for me. I'd get annoyed at someone that if they got offended for me. Like, so there are,
I
like,
don't.
me and Oscar Wilson, we make dad jokes. My mate Tom, he makes dad jokes. Things like that. Like, that's the way we see things. We see it like a way of processing the horror of a subject. Like like I said, you never say those jokes to people that have genuinely suffered from that. That's what I think that you need to like sort of not. When I say there's a time and place, you make a joke about, like say say you have a friend whose mum had died, yeah,
Yeah.
and they're around. You wouldn't make dead mum jokes. You wouldn't make a joke
No.
about not like when I say you make dead mum jokes. I'm not talking about their mum, but like you wouldn't make a joke about mums dying and things, and like things like that or anything relating to that. But if that friend's not around and you and your mates are taking the piss out of each other, and you know, you're being like really like pretend horrible that that you do with your friends, so like oh, I hope your mum trips over and smacks her head, and you go, "Oh, I hope your mum gets blown up in a car," right?
Yeah.
Like being horrible to each other. You wouldn't say that in front of that friend whose mum's actually died,
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
but you'd say it to people who haven't actually suffered from that experience.
Makes
So,
sense.
so I think, so yeah, I think there's always a time and place to make a joke, and I think everyone can make a joke about anything, and especially those people that have made jokes about their own traumatic experiences. It's dark. But there's no reason to be offended by someone that's making a joke about their own experience.
And you shouldn't be you shouldn't be offended on behalf of someone. That's
No,
just
you definitely should not be offended on behalf of someone.
um.
That is the worst. But yeah,
I know.
um,
I might circle back to that one later on because I
yeah, yeah,
still find it quite interesting. But go on, mate. I think it's your turn.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. This one might take a bit of thinking about. What does love mean to you?
Oh, why? Why? What is that question?
What does it actually mean to you? What is love to you? What is love? Baby,
Means-
don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
all right, so guys, this was the last ever episode.
The MCA stroke.
We're not friends. I despise this man. Uh,
Oh, I thought we had a great relationship, but thank you. All right. So,
uh
what is love to you?
we're getting cheesy now. I don't know,
No,
man. I think
like not like love as in, oh, it's gotta be a woman who takes care of me and takes care of our children. No, I'm talking about love, like as in friendship. Like, I love my friends, I love my family, I love the people. Like, I love my girlfriend if I have a girlfriend at the time. You know what I mean? I love them people. So like, in
um
terms like, let's transfer that onto you. So, what is love to you?
I think love is You got some good questions in me.
Thank you. I ask Google. I cannot take credit for these.
Oh, I hate that response you just did. Uh, I might actually ask you to go first while I think of this, because otherwise it's gonna be like dead air. So I might ask
What do you
you
mean? What the response was? What do you mean?
to. I said because I said like you got some good
Oh,
questions
about
and
the
you
Google.
yeah.
Um.
Go on, mate. You go first. Let me think on
Okay.
it for a
What's
few
love to
seconds.
me? Love is a connection that you have with someone where you would share a part of you with them, or you would sacrifice your happiness to help them, or sacrifice, make the decision to sacrifice certain things. Whereas I don't have children, but I know for a fact that a child. So there's different types of love, right? There's romantic love. There's unconditional love, which a lot of the time considered for parent and child, right? It's unconditional love for a child and a parent. Um, and by unconditional, it means like you're not conditioned to love someone. Whereas, like, say if it's a girlfriend, you're conditioned to love them because you speak to this person, and eventually over time you have feelings, you gain feelings for this person, and you're conditioned to love them in the end. Whereas a
Hmm.
parent and a child are unconditional love. You love each other the second. I mean, some people don't have maternal instinct, so or paternal instinct, but it's quite sad. But like unconditional love, like I said, it's just something where you're willing to sacrifice yourself essentially for that person's happiness or that person's safety, especially family. Like I'd die for certain family members. I would not, because I don't care enough about them. I'm sorry to say it, but there's certain family members that don't make the effort to care about me. I'm not going to make the effort to care about them. So,
Right.
but there's certain family members that I would die for. There's certain friends I would die for. You know, at the time, I mean, I wouldn't die for my girlfriends. I always said to myself, I'd never die for my girlfriends because I ain't gonna die for a girl just for her to get fucking dicked down 2 years later by some other guy. So fuck that, man. I ain't gonna die for a girlfriend. I'd die for someone that would love me till the very end, which would be my family and my friends. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's
Um.
what it is. It's a connection where you have that bond that's strong enough to sacrifice yourself for them. It doesn't have to be literally dying for them, but like,
No, no, no. I get
you
you.
know, friends going for a rough time, you drop something, you drop everything for them. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Uh, that's yeah, that's a strong one. I think love is um uh you use the word connection. That's good. I think it's yeah. I think when you have like a strong connection and you care for whoever it is
Yeah.
and you um and if we're talking in general, whether it's relationship, partner, family, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
like you enjoy being around them um, and like you enjoy their company and like that bond connection, however you want to phrase it, it gets stronger and stronger. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, I think that's probably it. But it's again, it's one of those things where you say it to people all the time, but you don't really think about what it means.
And yeah, like, I mean, yeah, like, you know, I've said to Oscar Wilson and Tom, you know, like, I love you guys, and we've both said it to each other.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to say it constantly for us to know that there's love there. It's the same with your family. A lot of the time, you don't say to your family like "I love you." You just know the love is there. That's what I think love is where you don't have to constantly say it. The only time I feel like you should ever like constantly tell someone that you love them is, you know, like a girlfriend, um,
Yeah.
or your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, partner, like, you know, at night. Like, I've always believed in, like, I'm not like a very like, I can be quite sappy, um, when it comes to the right person. Obviously, not
Yeah.
right now. I'm not a very sappy person, but like, my sort of thing is, I'll always tell the girl I'm with, you know, like, I love you at the end of the day, at night before I go to sleep. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's sort of, that's the only sort of, you know, I can go all day without saying it, but I'll always say it at that, no matter what, even if I'm angry at them. You know what I mean? That will always be like the thing. I'll say I love you at the end of the day. Um, Whereas, like, you know, with friendships and family, I feel like you don't need to say it because you know there's love there.
Yeah. I think that's yeah. I mean, if the love isn't there with your family, it's a bit concerning.
I mean, personally, I feel like we don't say it enough to our family. It's kind of, it feels kind of, it it feels hot. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me, and maybe it's just my issues as a person, like my personal mental issues, where I can't physically tell my family that I love them out of the blue. Um,
Uh, I don't know. I think yeah. I mean, I think
I don't know if that's a common thing or what, but like, I feel like the people should say it more often, especially to their parents, that obviously parents that deserve it, and
oh yeah,
to your friends as well. You know, like, you know, I'll always say it
parents
to my
put up with a
friends.
lot of stuff.
Like, at the end of the day, man, like, I can love my friends, and because I see them as brothers, I see them as family. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
or sisters. I don't really have many female friends because I don't know. I just don't. But like, not
Yeah.
by choice. It just doesn't. I just don't really connect with women on that level. Although they're very drama free a lot of the time.
Hey,
I like that about female friends.
any
That's a lie. I
females
have
out
got some
there?
female friends, but they're very drama free. I find because they're very drama queens with each other, but they're very chill with you because same kind of bitchiness with each other. So
Any females out there? Brad's looking for a female friend.
I'm looking for a friend. Oh, a friend. Oh god. Is that my question or your question?
Uh,
Hey, that was what is love, wasn't it? Love
that
to
was
you.
your one.
You got another one?
Yeah, I'm slowly running out though. Let's see. Oh bloody hell! I've got like two left.
All right,
Shit.
you can Google some while I ask you a question. How about that?
Fine.
Or think of some.
Actually, no, I've got one. Let me use this one. Let me use this
Mm-mm.
one. So when you or anyone for that matter goes into like a panic or anxiety attack.
Yeah.
What do you think is happening, like in the mind?
Personally, or like literally in my like physically, what's actually happening in my brain?
Uh, I guess like yeah, I guess like maybe
Or like my,
physically, like
you mean like from
both.
my own personal experience?
Or I guess what do you think happens like in general if someone has like I mean yeah, if I mean if you're comfortable, yeah, but I'm thinking like in general. Like for me, like for example with me, right? My body just goes it goes cold,
Mm.
right? It's like it's really chilly in the air, even though it's not, and like I can get quite clammy.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I go really sweat my
Really?
first ever panic attack was I thought I was having a heart attack,
Oh, well, that must have been terrifying.
and it was my first ever panic attack, and I had no idea what it was. Actually, before I started college, um, yeah, I remember I was out with my sister and her boyfriend. I thought I was having a heart attack in the car, and then obviously as time went on, you panic because you think you're dying, which causes you to panic even more. To the point we did actually call someone out because I genuinely thought I was having a heart attack. Um,
Bloody hell.
that's when she sort of said to me when she get me out. She was like, "Do you know what? To be honest, I think you were having a panic attack." And she said,
Yeah.
Have you ever had a panic attack?" And I said, "No." And she's like, "Yeah, I think this was your first ever panic attack, and you didn't know what it was, so you assumed it was a heart attack." And obviously, I'm a big guy, and I was a much bigger guy back then. So obviously, I thought to myself, my health isn't the best. Maybe I'm genuinely having a heart attack. Um.
Terrifying.
So yeah, I mean, but in our brain, for everyone, I think it's. I mean, I'm not a massive. I don't really know a lot about like science, so I'd say it's just like our brain sort of telling, like, giving us a sense of doom, right?
Yeah.
But I think because the experience is different for everyone, I think it's hard to pinpoint what our brains actually do during a panic attack,
Yeah.
other than overthink everything.
Yes. That is correct. Yeah, I would think I would say so, yeah.
Which is weird because our brains know that we're not having a heart attack or stuff like that, but yet still continues to make us believe that, which is weird. I don't know what it is.
Well, they think
Maybe a panic attack is a survival mechanism to do with something, but we just don't know what it is. So because obviously we live in a society where we don't have to really go off instincts that much. So maybe it's like an instinct thing. I don't know.
or I think maybe like the brain knows like something's wrong. So something I don't know. It's a weird one though. Not a weird one, but it's a um yeah. I don't know
I
where I'm
think
going
it's your
with
brain just trying to find a way to like express the anxiety or the
this. Yeah,
paranoia, you know,
yeah, pretty much.
and the
Pretty
physical manifestation of it. That's
much.
what a panic
Because
attack is. It's like a physical manifestation of anxiety. So I think that's what it is. I think it's just your brain trying to process it all.
yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I got one here. Um, how would you change the public education system?
Ooh,
Actually, do you know what? No, I want to ask that one because that's not as like that's more of like a that's actually kind of a fun question. Change. All right, I've got one. This one's quite deep. You don't have to answer it. You don't want to talk about it. But what was your loneliest moment?
uh, loneliest?
Yeah.
Um, Probably the first lockdown, to be honest, because a lot happened in that first lockdown. Like, yeah, I was with my mum, and that's cool and everything, but
Yeah.
you just, especially when you lose someone, you just feel you kind of just like you're in this bubble, right? And literally, you're in a bubble
Yeah.
basically because we weren't allowed to leave our house,
Yeah, I get you.
but you just feel like you're alone and you can't do anything, and especially at that time, what
Yeah.
we were allowed to leave the house once for like a walk in a shop, right?
Yeah, basically.
Um, and it just basically feels like or at least for me it did. It just felt like I was in this horrible, horrible dream, and like I couldn't wake up. And then, you know, I can't see anyone. I mean, I see my mum, but I can't see anyone. I can't see family. I can't see friends.
Yeah.
You know, you know, talk about the term isolation. Literally isolated.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
probably it.
I respect that.
What about you?
Me, when my relationship ended, I think,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
I really went downhill. I knew I wasn't alone, but I felt really alone. Like, actually, do you know what? No, it wasn't. It was when I was going through a suicidal part of my life.
right.
Um, I felt so alone. I remember ended up opening up to my mum about it, you know, stuff. But I think I was around 16, maybe a
Yeah,
bit younger. I just felt so alone. I was just going through so much. Um, I'd been kicked out of school because of my attendance, because my anxiety fucked me over. Um, and then I was going into college, and this was the age I was starting to realize that I had a lot of resentment towards my dad. I was dealing with that. I was very suicidal, and I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone about it. Um,
for the worst feeling in the world.
I couldn't. I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't tell the woman that gave me life that I no longer wanted to live it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I felt so alone, and I didn't really tell anyone about it until later on. Until in my 20s, that's when I opened up and said, I've been like this before. Um, but yeah, I think I felt really alone because I couldn't tell my friends either. At the time, I went through so much, and it fucked me over so much. It all came crashing down, earlier this year when I lost my relationship, and then that just really brought everything up again. But I say my loneliest moment was that going through when my depression anxiety really hit me.
yeah,
I had always had a little anxiety throughout my life, but when I was 16, it all came crashing down on me. It all basically kicked in. So yeah, probably then, because it wasn't long after that I actually had a girlfriend, um, who, as bad as the relationship ended up being in the end, that there were amazing parts of it which helped me with my anxiety and my depression. So, you know, she was good for me at the time, but towards the end she wasn't. So, but yeah, I'd say then my loneliest time. Um, Luckily I didn't lose anyone in lockdown. But I mean, as lonely and boring as it wasn't like that type of experience for me.
yeah, yeah.
Obviously, you can go to the future,
I think, yeah, just
which really, which as your friend from an outside perspective of that, it's very hard to see your friend go through that themselves.
you know
So,
what? It was also no one knew what this COVID was. So
mm,
all all I'm going off by is there's this dangerous virus out there. It's killing people. It just killed someone I love.
yeah,
Like the fuck, you know. And then you just talked about bringing up feelings again, and this isn't me being offended on behalf of anyone. This is me being offended. We find out a few months ago Boris is having parties, right? During that time.
yeah.
And then
See,
that
that's
got
another
me,
thing.
yeah, and
It's
then that
yeah,
got me angry. because then it's like bloody hell, like because then that brought back flashbacks of me just like stuff like that.
I found that the people that actually followed the rules suffered the most, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but there came a point where people who followed the rules like to a T decided I can't be arsed anymore. Like I'm sick of this. I'm living my life, which I'm doing
mhm,
now. I've forgotten all about it. To be honest, like it's just a background disease, like the flu. The flu kills hundreds of thousands of people each day, each year in the US alone. So you know, and to be honest, it's like whatever. We might as well move on from it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's a really bad part of our history, but we may as well just live our lives now. And the people who were lost during that pandemic will probably want us to move on with our lives. I mean,
Probably.
just remember them, not the disease.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
That's
that's
probably,
cool. Yeah.
yeah. So that's my question.
Oh, was that yours?
No, like that whole. What was your loneliest moment? What's your next one? Or do you want me to
I've got
ask
a,
another one?
no, it's fine. I've got a
Yeah,
balls deep one.
a balls deep one. Alright. I
Um,
think it's the first time I ever heard you say something so vulgar.
Shut up. That's not true. I talked about the pulling out thing earlier. That sounded horrible.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens, guys. Sometimes he gives me really helpful stuff, and then he'll just send me a
To be
text
fair, I
afterwards.
always start off with like a really bad, like really disgusting joke, and then I'll get like really deep down into it with you.
That you should have thought about before you said that.
Yeah, I should have really thought about that before I said that. Yeah.
Ugh,
All right.
he's
What's your balls
disgusting.
deep question?
Um, Oh, Jesus, this is kind of dark. Where do you think we go after we pass away, or do we go anywhere?
I think that it would be like before we were born.
Hmm.
Just don't exist.
So like, yeah, that's terrifying.
I mean, not really, because we don't remember what we were like when we were born, before we were born, because we don't remember that, because like I said, we never exist. At the end of the day, the best thing to think about us, we are literally a brain in a flesh suit. That's literally what we are. Our brain is literally the thing that we are right now.
Yeah,
Um, we're just a brain in a flesh suit, and the thing that's keeping that brain alive is what we think. Is our memories, our mind. I think they're called neurons. I'm not 100% sure. Um, you know, that's what we are. That's our consciousness. Or consciousness. Yeah. Um, I think we just go back to not existing. Just don't think about it because we just don't know about it because we just shut off.
yeah. I mean, I think the reason why, right, is like a few when I was in secondary school,
Mm.
I was with two mates, right? We were walking like down the corridor, and like he asked that question to a friend, and like it just like I think it really freaked me out because yeah, like when you pass away, it's like someone said like you just never wake up. It's like a really long sleep, but you just don't wake up,
Um,
which is terrifying.
I, to be honest, I can add on to that question now. Actually, one.
But
Um, is it- you.
you forgot the question, guys.
Did I not write it down? I think it was. Oh yeah, if you had to. Oh yeah, how would you prefer to die?
How would I prefer to die? Um, I really hope my family don't hear this. Um, 'cause they'll be worried for my mental health. Um, sorry, I'm laughing at a text you just sent me.
basically, let's add some context. We basically just talk about the podcast and the time and stuff. This is quite, it is actually quite late we're recording, and so basically we said let's just do a few more questions. But I was like, yeah, I'm dying for a piss anyway, so we should just start working towards wrapping up because I'm genuinely
And the
dying
worst
for a
thing is,
piss.
I was laughing about it as we were discussing a serious topic.
Bro, like, I was tempted to go, all right, let's take a toilet break and just pause the recording. I was like, no, I'll make it through because then when you said let's do like another like 15, 20 minutes, I was like, yes, I can go for a piss. So yeah, all right. So
Well,
if you like, how would you die? How would you
dying
prefer
for
to
a
die?
piss.
Yeah, apparently that's what I am.
Uh, Probably just maybe like in my sleep.
So just like your sort of body just shuts down, your heart stops.
'Cause that way you're not in pain. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um,
If your heart
yeah.
stops, do you die straight away? I don't think you do, right?
Well,
'Cause that's like what
unless
CPR is, right? To reboot the heart.
yeah, but if you're just like in your sleep, right?
Yeah, if
I
you're in your
think
sleep, I think it'll be because like when someone's heart stops, they pass out anyway, don't they? So if you're asleep, I think that you just die because your
well, yeah,
oxygen to your brain doesn't happen, so you just die.
because like because by the time someone notices, you'll be long gone.
Because at the end of the
Unless
day, like all right. Here's a question to any scientists out there that are listening. They probably aren't, but here's a question: if you could constantly oxygenate someone's brain, would they need their organs to survive? Would they need their heart to pump the blood around their system? Or would you still survive? I think that's to do with the consciousness, which they're still actually trying to figure out. See if you could put your consciousness into a machine. So maybe let's not go too deep into that because that could just open up a can of worms. But yeah, I agree. I'd rather do it in my sleep. Just heart stops. That or during orgasm. That'd be it. That happens. Um.
I'm
So.
not gonna comment on that one.
That's how I die. You know what I mean? So...
Just you know what, I could say so many things here and just be absolutely vile, but I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Whatever you say. You see
Oh,
how this
here's a
guy talks, you know, like in the text, man. The way he talks about women is disgusting.
the fuck are you talking about? Shut the fuck up.
No, kid. Right, you got another
Someone,
question?
someone actually no, someone said to I think Jimmy Carr said to he was asking like how someone died. I don't know. Then someone shouted out wanking.
Yeah, people have died wanking before.
You can die of wanking?
Yeah, there was a guy who wanked one too many times, and we figured out what the maximum time someone should be wanking for. I think it was like 80 times, and he died.
80 times?
Yeah, your heart basically gives in because obviously when you orgasm, your heart like beats really fast, right? Your blood's like
Yeah.
rushing around your body, and your heart just sort of gives in after a while. So
Well,
this is taking a weird turn. We should do a sex education episode. Anyway, got
you
another question.
started like saying you'd rather die of an orgasm.
Well, that's the truth. We didn't have to go into it. Well, that was the truth. I'd rather die during an orgasm, so I'd die a happy man, or I just die in my sleep. Simple as that.
Alright.
Or I die in a really inconvenient place. So they'd have to
Well,
move my body out of a really inconvenient place. Just one last fuck you to the world. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
alright, that's fine. Well, this episode is going to be titled.
I'll tell you what, actually, to do with that, my biggest fear is to die naked. Like, I'm so scared that, like, I'll go to bed naked and never wake up, and then they'll find my body, and they'll just have to see, like, my teeny weeny peeny. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like really, really self conscious. That's why I start sleeping in clothes, just in case I die. So yeah. Moving on. So have you got another question?
How did you get me to ask you a question? What? What?
All right. Wipe the slate clean. Brand new section of the podcast.
Right. Okay. Just to confirm, everyone, he wants to die of an orgasm. Right. Okay.
Yes. Who doesn't? All right, Karen. Question.
I'm dying right now. Oh,
Okay.
that. You should have saved that one for last.
Oh, shit.
Um. What is um a relationship to you? And I'm not talking like family.
Like a
Like,
romantic relationship.
yeah. I should have phrased that. Sorry. Yeah. Like, yeah. Exactly.
In terms of what, like, what for me defines a relationship?
Romantically, yeah. That
What
makes
in terms of like what I want in a relationship or what I think a relationship actually is?
as in, um, what do you? Yeah, I guess that first one. Like, what do you think like a romantic relationship like is? Like, what do you think go?
So personally, I think like for me, like a relationship is where we support each other, but
Mhm.
we also have our own things going on.
Yeah,
But we'll support each other from the sidelines, but we'll also not rely on each other for everything. But we're there to rely on each other if we need it. You know what I mean? Like we're
yeah,
both independent, but we both support each other in our endeavors. And there's got to be a love connection. And I mean, I know they say it's not the most important thing, but realistically, sex is a very important thing in a relationship. I'm sorry, but it is. And I always believe that there should always be a sexual component before you get into the relationship because could you imagine like falling in love with someone and like getting really into someone and then when you finally get down to having sex, like you just don't connect on a sexual level? You know what I
gotta be
mean?
all.
So I think it's like it's where you both connect on a really like deep level, like, emotionally, sexually. You both just support each other equally, and you both equally put effort into the relationship. It should be 50-50. Some days it'll be 20-80 because someone you might be having a really bad week or a really bad day, and you just need the support and the comfort. And I think that you should have the availability to do that for your partner. That should be what it is. But you but overall, you guys should have your own thing going on. Your own friendship groups. Your own activities, your own careers, and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
sort of relationship that, for me, is what a real relationship it kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, I mean, yeah, I mean, as you said, like a sexual component is like needed.
I think
Not,
I think people need to just realize it is important. Like it's not the
yeah,
most important thing in a relationship because if you're just gonna go in it for sex, you may as well just be friends with benefits. But sex is still very important in a relationship, and there's no reason for it to not be, unless you're both like not into sex, then it's not
hmm
important. But really, like the majority of people are into having sex with each other, and I feel like a sexual relationship has to exist before like an emotional relationship does. I feel like you can both like flirt and start like things like that, and then like you have sex, and then you sort of get together. Because like at the end of the day, no one really asks to get into a relationship. It just happens now, right? Like, as a kid, you'd be like, "Oh, will you be my girlfriend?" Heh heh heh. But as an adult, you sort of just it happens, right?
yeah,
Both get into a relationship, you both just get together. So I feel like you guys have sex, and you really because I feel like that also can cement the bond as well. Because if you're really into each other and you start to really, and then you have sex and you can cement that bond. But I feel like if you put too much effort into the emotional component first and then don't have sex for like a long time afterwards, I feel like you can sort of make it awkward and feel weird if you guys just don't sync when it comes to sex. Because if you do it early on, you guys can sort of learn each other's bodies and needs and things like that, and then like it's magic, right? But if you guys put so much effort into loving each other and building up a relationship, and then next thing you know, you're having sex, and like one of you's bad at it and one of you's good at it, and then you just don't enjoy it, or you do things that they don't enjoy and they get put off. It's like it's not going to work out very well, and you have to take time to learn each other. But that's my philosophy on it. Like, it doesn't have to be the same for everyone. That's just what I believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sex Ed.
It's been a TED talk. Shag 'em before you bag 'em.
Okay, you know what? It's funny, and now you've ruined it.
It was all like really like deep and like knowledgeable, and then it just goes straight into scumbag territory.
You know what? I hope your orgasms suck.
Well, do you know what? I have great orgasms because I'm on antidepressants, and it makes my orgasms absolutely euphoric. So fuck you.
See how he talks to me? He just said "fuck you." How rude.
But yeah, like, what's the relationship to you?
I was gonna just joke and just say "fucking," but I'm not gonna say that.
You dirty dog. You know what I mean? He judges me for the things I say. Look at him, dirty little bastard.
I don't know what you're talking. Hello. I don't know, man. I think a relationship is about two people that like care for each other and like want to be together. As you just said, like, I think in all seriousness, like, yeah, like a sexual. It's like it's needed.
I think a sexual component is what differentiates a friendship to a relationship.
Yeah.
You can be
Cool.
friends with
Yeah.
benefits, right? But like, it's sex without the romantic sort of, like, the romantic feelings. Like, you can be romantic, like you can like have romantic sex, but like the romantic feelings aren't actually there, because if they are, that's a relationship.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
relationship doesn't mean that one person. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be exclusive, because there are open relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I could never do, because I couldn't bear to see my partner with someone else, or hear about my partner with someone else, or my partner being with someone else while they're with me, and I wouldn't expect my partner to feel this. I wouldn't expect my partner to be okay with that. So, like, but like, open relationships exist, and they love each other. They go home to each other at the end of the night, but they also have that sexual component with other people, because there's no emotional attachment. Whereas friends with benefits, you can have that a friendship and that, like, that love as like that platonic love, right? A platonic
Yeah.
friendship, but you guys have sex because you both physically attract to each other, and you both have needs that you want to fulfill, and you just have sex with each other, but you just hang out as friends because there's no labels and no exclusivity to it.
Yeah. I
So
agree with it. Yeah.
sexual component is definitely differentiates too. Because you
Yeah.
can, if you're not having sex, but there's a romantic, like, sort of romantic feelings, but you're not having sex, it's sort of like a friendship until that
Yeah.
sexual component happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's
I agree with it.
that's what sort of like I said, it cements that relationship. So, like I said, shag 'em before you bag 'em. So,
He's disgusting, isn't he? What do you think? One more each,
yeah, I mean, I've got a couple, so I can just choose one now.
and then maybe next episode we can continue
Yeah,
the
yeah.
part. Yeah.
Got plenty of time to talk about these things. So, what's something about yourself that you wish other people noticed more?
Good question.
Thank you. Thank you, Google.
Okay. Fuck off. Uh. Yeah. Sure.
Come on, lad.
I don't know, man. I think that I wish the one thing that people notice more. Oh, why are these so challenging? What's the point? Uh.
Literally the whole point of it.
Yeah, I know, dipshit. Relax.
It's literally balls deep questions.
Alright, relax, chill out. Go have an orgasm.
I don't. That's a really weird thing to say, bro. I think you should have thought about that before you said that.
Oh, no.
That's basically telling me to go and comfort you. That's just weird, bro. You need to rethink that phrase. So all right. Let's forget. Right. Also, yeah. What is something about yourself that you wish other people noticed more? Oscar.
Um, you know what? I don't say this enough. Um, like, okay, I'm not gonna go into it, but like, just for those out there, I've got a learning difficulty. Doesn't affect like, me in everyday life,
Yeah.
right? But it affects me in some aspect, like um, social clues. Sometimes, not all the time, but
Yeah.
sometimes. And I think the one thing I would wish is like, you know, I don't, like I'm taking this quote from a video I saw, but I do apply it to me, and
Copyright.
that is like, I don't mean to not understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
right? I don't mean to not get a social clue, or if someone um is explaining something to me,
Yeah.
you know, I don't, sorry, I might need it explained a good few more times before I get it. That's just the reality of how I'm wired, so to speak. Yeah, it's it doesn't affect, I go to work, I live like everybody else. I think looking at me, you probably wouldn't know. I don't think it's because it's more in the mind. But that would likely be my answer, or that is my answer.
Yeah.
What about you?
My loyalty.
Loyalty?
Mostly my loyalty. I'd say like my loyalty or just like um sort of yeah, my loyalty really. Like or like who I can be as a person when it comes to being a friend or like even a romantic partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um I'm not one of those guys that are like, oh, she won't she won't give me a chance because I'm not pretty enough. Like, if you don't find me attractive, you're not gonna find me attractive. Simple as that. We move on.
yeah,
Um, it's when I do talk to people of the opposite sex and talk about possibly things like that. But then I don't get a chance to. It doesn't get a chance. It doesn't get a chance to come to fruition because you know, conversation dies. Like we stop talking and so yeah, like I'd say like my loyalty or like my ability to be that sort of like a good friend or a good. I feel like I'm a pretty good friend because I'm a very loyal person. Like loyalty is everything to me. Like like I'm still loyal to secrets of people that I dislike. That I'll take to the grave with me. But because my loyalty, I was loyal to them when they told me these secrets. My loyalty will forever stay that way, even
yeah,
if I don't like them, because I'm not that kind of person. So yeah, definitely my loyalty. And I know the people that know me appreciate my loyalty and they know that I'm loyal and they trust me to tell me things because they know that it will stay between us. So,
yeah.
but
No,
I pick and choose who deserves my loyalty,
as you should.
as I should. And same
Yeah,
with respect, you know. I pick and choose who I
respect,
want to respect.
respect a big one.
Yeah, so respect is a huge one, but I feel like that's not something that gets someone to notice about you. It's just
No,
It's just it's just something that people should appreciate anyway. So
I don't. Yeah, I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think that's someone. I don't think that's you can kind of like not show off, but that's not something you can show
yeah,
to
it's not
everyone.
something to sort of brag about. something to like
That's
put. It's not something to advertise yourself for. Like like oh, I'm a very respectful person. I will give you respect because you respect someone that doesn't respect you. You're a fucking idiot. So
yeah,
what's the point?
literally.
So it's all well and good. Like for me, loyalty for everything. I'm loyal to. I like if say if I'm with someone, right? Not like romantically. So I'm talking to someone like a friend or something, and they tell me something really deep, and like they're like, "Please don't tell anyone." I'm like, "Okay, that's it. Your secret's safe with me." And then say we have an argument, and they start treating me like shit. My loyalty is no longer to them, right? That loyalty is to the secret. I will never tell, right?
Hmm.
But my loyalty is no longer to you, so I will never. I'm not gonna like stick around. I'll disappear from your life. I don't give a shit. I'm not sticking around just because we were friends once and I'm a loyal person doesn't mean I'm gonna stick around because you treat me like shit. I'm gone. So I have too much self respect for that. So yeah. Um. Yeah. So my loyalty is probably the one thing that I'd want people to notice about me a bit more.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Or
Yeah,
my true
loyalty.
personality. Like I know, we joke about it, like how I put off as I can be an asshole, but realistically, deep down, I am a pretty decent person. I'm not trying to brag
Yep.
or be self-centered, but I'm a pretty decent person, like so I'm a pretty good friend and I take care of my friends. So yeah, that who I
I think
am.
it goes your personality kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, if someone's like friends with you and they know, I'm talking about you specifically, and they know you, they can't. I don't say they can't get offended, but they shouldn't be surprised by your humor. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
like that's the thing is like you're not surprised when I make those jokes. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
Because that's just who I am.
Yep.
But like there's also parts of who I am that where I am trustworthy and I am mature. Like I can be mature when I need to be. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like that time when you asked me for some advice and like I said, pull out. Like that's obviously me just messing around. Obviously, because then obviously I said, "Nah, but for real, what's up?" Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
obviously I make the initial joke to sort of just because we're friends. That's what we do. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, it's like last night when I said about being your best man, and then you basically threatened to get me beaten up by security. Other than that, like, that's a really out of context thing, and I'm never going to add context to that, but just for the sake of it. But yeah, so, like, that's what I mean. Like, so yeah. Right, loyalty. That would be mine. Do you have
Cool.
a final question?
Yeah, I think it relates back to my previous one. I've been toying which one to ask, but you mentioned like a friend with benefits, right?
Right.
If you like, do you think that can like fuck with someone's head?
Yes.
Fuck is not the right word to be honest.
Can confuse people.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of time it can do that, and it happens to both boys and girls, and
Do
alike.
you think, do you think it's healthy?
Um, what friends with benefits?
Yeah.
I think it can be
Yeah.
healthy. Having a healthy sex life without the stress of an emotional component can be a very healthy. Um, Forever, no. I think it would be a very lonely existence if you
Yeah.
don't have that connection with someone. But yeah, I think friends with benefits. I think it does. It like I said, it benefits. It benefits you. You get to have sex with someone that you're attracted to, whereas have a friend, you need them to be your friend.
Yeah.
But you don't have the stress of being in a relationship. Because when you're in a relationship, it's not just you. You've got to think about the other person in your relationship. Say say I'm friends with benefits with someone, and I go on a night out and I sleep with someone. I have the freedom to do that, and I can't. I have no reason to feel guilty, right? Whereas, say if I went out on a night out while I was in a relationship, um, you know, I can't just say that I'm on a night out. I have to, go to my partner. I'm going on a night out. I have to tell them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay for them to be a bit annoyed because obviously, if they want to spend time with you, and things. Obviously, you don't want to be control. You don't want someone to be controlling where they say you can't go out. But like, you got to make sure they're okay with things that you do. There's consequences to your actions. If you say, say if a girl, say if you're in a friends with benefits, kind of thing, and someone else flirts with you, whether you reciprocate it or not, you may like just disagree with it, like push it aside. Like, but if you're in a relationship, you have to like be careful what you say around people in case it comes off as flirting and things like that. You have to literally everything you do, you have to think about the consequences of your partner, for your
Yeah,
partner. So I think it's a healthy way of like. I think it's a healthier way of dealing with like trauma from a relationship, maybe. But
yeah,
it
that
can
could be.
it, it can it can affect with your emotions, especially if you guys start having a bit where the sex becomes a bit too passionate, a bit too romantic.
Then that's gonna
Because
affect the
there are
friendship.
a lot of emotions in sex. Like a lot of people say, it doesn't mean anything, but it can over time mean something. Like I'll say it to this right. If a guy cheats on a girl, say that there's a couple that's been married for a while, and their sex life's kind of diminished, right? They're not having sex, and the husband goes and sleeps with a girl, like it's like some young, 20-year-old, like 25-year-old, um, and he says, and then she finds out, and he says it didn't mean anything. A lot of the time, it didn't. It was just a sexual release, right?
Yeah,
So, but say he was constantly having sex with someone, there's a good chance there's an emotional component that forms for it. Because that's proper cheating. That's emotional and sexual cheating. Do you know what I mean? Like physically cheating and emotionally cheating. Um, so think that it can fuck with someone's head if they're constantly having sex. Oh, dog's coughing. You're right there, buddy. Um, okay. I think my dog's choking on something. Are you okay? He's just fucking around. But yeah, so like I think it can mess with someone's head if it becomes a bit too emotional attachment. Um, I think if you're going into a friends with benefits, you need to be someone that doesn't connect with someone that easily or doesn't get attached quickly, because I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair on either of you. If one of you gets attached and the other person doesn't want that, it's not fair on someone to emotionally manipulate someone into a relationship, and it's also not fair on that person to get, if they're attached, if another person uses that attachment to get sex and doesn't feel the same way. So like for me, like if I'm in a friends, I've got friends with benefits. If one of those friends says to me, "Oh, I'm starting to get feelings for you," and I don't feel the same way, then I'll stop, and we'll just
gonna
continue.
get awkward otherwise.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna have sex with someone that has emotionally has feelings for me if I don't have feelings for them, because it's not fair on them, and then it's not fair on me if I feel I have to be pressured into a relationship with them. So it's better off to just cut it off. But I think after a while it has to either stop or it forms into a relationship. I don't think it's something that someone can do forever.
Yeah, I'd agree with
Because I
that.
think
Yeah,
it goes one of two ways. It cuts off and you stay friends, or it goes into a relationship. So,
yeah. There's
or
like
I mean, you argue about it and you guys don't speak ever again. But that's most of the time, like that's what will happen.
yeah, I think there's like the only 2 3 ways it can go down, sort of thing.
I think the only thing that can be really awkward out of friends with benefits is if you stay friends with that person and then you get into a relationship and you're still friends with that person. Your partner might feel a bit uncomfortable being around, knowing that you're around that person that you've been having sex with quite a lot in the past.
Yeah, that might be a bit odd.
But at the end of the day, it depends on the person. For me, it depends on the person. So
Yeah,
so
I get you.
but yeah. So because we've had a conversation about friends with benefits before, didn't we?
Not on here.
Not on the podcast, but like we actually like had a conversation over like voice notes about it, didn't we?
I think so.
'Cause I
I
think
can't really
I
remember.
remember we basically sort of you saying it wasn't your thing, and then me asking you
Oh
why, and then
yes,
you explained everything to me.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, 'cause literally, guys, his first thing to me was like, "We'll get you some action." fuck is wrong with you?
Bro, I'm just trying to help a brother out, man.
Need your
My
help.
brother starving. You're a relationship guy, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am, and I am at a certain point that like it has to be the right girl for me. Like at this point in my life, I'm sort of kind of cold hearted when it comes to that. Like if a girl says I'm starting to like you, I'm gonna be like, no, sorry, but no.
You. I mean, are you a friends with benefits guy?
I'm definitely a friends with benefits guy. I've got friends with benefits. So I'm definitely a friends with benefits guy. At the moment, if anything ever evolves into a relationship, I'm not gonna stop it from evolving just because I want to continue having sex with other people.
Yeah.
Because when I love someone, I'm loyal to them. I don't think about having sex with anyone else. So, like, you know what I mean? So it's for me, it's a bit like that. Seeing where things go. If things, if I'm like sleeping with all these other people, like right now, I'm sleeping with other people, and then, because I've got a couple where it's like I'll sleep with them. And that's sort of all that. That's as far as it goes, right? Like we'll stay, like we'll talk and we'll be friends, but that's as far as it goes when it comes to like that kind of thing. It's just sex. So, and then you say if like I'm talking to like someone else and that I have more of an emotional connection with, like I will pursue it if I start to actually feel emotionally connected to someone.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
so I'm a bit of I'm more of like anything, right? Like like I've been on like dating things where I've had matches where I'm like, where nothing really happened in the end, but we stayed friends because at the end of the day, I'm looking for friends. I'm looking for friends with benefits. I'm looking for like one-time things if that's what you're into. I'm looking to also get to know someone if they want to get to know me because I'm not gonna stop it from happening. It's just something that I'm not gonna actually pursue itself. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not gonna look for it. That's that's sort of where I am at the moment.
I think it kind of has to like be natural for it to evolve and not
Yeah.
forced.
Whereas I can't look for someone. I can't look for a serious relationship straight away
Got you. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
because I don't know. It just doesn't seem it. I feel like it. I can't. I definitely cannot rush into things either. Like if I'm talking to someone and they want a more serious relationship, I'm happy to get to know you, but I'm not gonna put everything aside for it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've had a girl where like I'm gonna expose her a little. It's kind of harsh, but like she said to me, she got very clingy very quickly, which kind of definitely put me off of her a little bit because she was asking me questions like after a week, and then she was like, "Do you see a future with us?" And I'm like, I literally said to you like, the day we started talking that I don't know what I want. Like, I don't know what like
Yeah.
if it happens, it happens. But I'm not gonna stop sleeping with other people. I'm not gonna stop talking to other people. Until like I officially know that I'm willing to have a relationship with this person. Um, because I'm not rushing into it. It could take me months to actually even trust somebody. The first thing that has to build for me for there, it has to be trust, then love. Well, no, trust, like friendship, love, and obviously you got the initial attraction as well. So it can take a while for me, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I'd say I'm more leaning towards more of a friends with benefits kind of thing, which you don't do, right?
Um.
Explain to the people why, Oscar. Why the ladies out
Uh,
there in the world can't be your little fuck buddies. Although to be fair, I feel like there's a difference between fuck buddy and friends with benefits, right?
I think
Because a
so.
fuck buddy is like someone that you don't really hang around with. You just meet up for literally booty calls, just shag each other and then leave, and then just.
Yeah.
Whereas
It's like
like a friends with benefits is you guys hang out and you have a laugh and then you have sex occasionally.
yeah, and then you fuck each
Yeah,
other.
and you fucking. Jesus, bro, what is this language? Oscar's moving away from his PG ways. I think I'm a bad influence on you.
You've been a bad influence on me for years.
True, bro. to be fair, I want you to come out of your shell a bit. That's why.
I am out of my
I
shell.
know you're very out of your shell now compared to what you like in college.
Yeah, exactly.
You're very
I was, yeah,
very
yeah.
socially awkward in college.
I'm still kind of socially awkward.
Yeah, but aren't we all? I mean, we're all little computer nerds. We were very fucking socially awkward.
Very true. We are socially awkward.
Fucking- But yeah,
Can you believe it? Another 2-hour episode.
I
Unbelievable.
know, right? And it's actually been a quite on-track episode as well.
Yeah, it has.
Not all just been
Had
complete
a
tangents. It's actually
lot of interesting things discussed.
yeah. I think it got very deep as well at one point. I'm glad.
Yep, talked about
Each episode, we're gonna try and make the audience cry at least once.
Jesus.
But all right, so tell
Talk
the
about-
world why you don't like Friends with Benefits. Like, I'm genuinely curious.
I don't really. I'm not even sure I can comment only because I've not done it, but just the idea of it just puts me off just simply because I don't know. You're friends with someone and you have sex with them, like I don't know. Something about that just is almost off-putting.
Really?
But I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because I'm like a relationship guy, so
Are
I
you
can't.
do you long for the emotional connection?
As in, what do you mean long for it? Like,
Do
as
you
in,
like when do you search for it? Do you want that relationship? You want the emotional connection? Love? You want to feel loved? That sort of thing.
as in, I want the connection. Yeah. As in, because, yeah, I want the connection, and I feel like with friends with benefits,
All right, okay,
worry-
that's fair enough. But all right, answer this real quick. Okay, not friends with benefits, but would you be willing to do a one night stand with somebody? Say you like in a bar, and a cute girl comes up to you and she's like, "Listen, I want to have sex with you." Not literally like that, but you get to know each other and then you sort of like flirt in, blah blah blah, have a good time. But the initial thing is that she wants to have sex with you. Would you want to have sex with her and then like not sort of talk to her the next day, like literally just that one time thing and just have a good night with each other and then that's it? You go your separate ways. Would you be willing to do something like that?
knowing me, I think I'd feel a bit odd.
Really?
If I'm honest.
Well, even if
Yeah.
she was totally into it as well, like no talking the next day, that's it, just one time thing.
It wouldn't really, like, yeah, if she was into it, fine, but it's more about something about it in my head would be like,
Would
was that right?
do you feel
Like,
guilty? Is that what it is? Like you feel guilty, like maybe you've hurt her feelings and shit.
not necessarily hurt, because if she's into it, right, and she doesn't care,
Yeah.
not care, but you know what I mean. She's obviously fine. I think in my head or whatever it is, I don't know if it's guilt, because like if she, that's hypothetically said, she said no, it's fine, like I'm cool, whatever, I'm cool with it. You know, I don't know if it's a guilt thing or just like um I don't even know. I mean, maybe you can help me out. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if guilt is the
You
right
want
word
to
for
help
it.
you out, bro. I'm not. I mean,
No,
if you
no.
want to double team, I'm happy to tag team, but like that's not really my thing. But if you're down, if you want to do that, we can do that. That's fine. But I think I know
No.
what you mean. Like you don't know whether it's the right thing to do. The other thing about it is just having a bit of fun though, like just getting your rocks off.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah.
It's like wanking,
like-
but with a person. Do you know what I mean?
like wanking, but with
I mean, it is right. But you're like having sex. Like you're just having a one-time thing, and that's it. Never to see each other again.
Fair point. That's a fair point.
Yeah, that's it. One night stands are wanking with a person.
Well, on that person. Sorry,
Oh.
that was horrible.
You're disgusting. Oh my fucking god, bro. That's like the dirtiest thing you've ever said. Oh my god, what are you doing, dog? My dog just tried to jump on my office chair and completely flopped backwards. All I think he's being a bit needy because I think he needs to go out.
What a needy little
I know,
shit.
right? If I wanted a needy little bitch, I would. No, I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, okay.
I
That's
can't believe I
my
just said that.
philosophy now from now on. I can't believe you said that. That's disgusting, Oscar. I'm ashamed of you. That's my role in the friendship is to be the disgusting one. I'm ashamed.
Oh yeah, pardon me.
Pardon me for
Jeez.
making a funny joke.
It wasn't even funny. It was just disgusting.
I'm proud of you, actually. Proud of you for that
I'm
comment.
not.
You've heard it here first. You Oscar wanks onto people. Oscar's a little freak, mate. He just doesn't show it. Have you got any wise words for the listeners out there?
Yeah, don't wank on someone unless. You know what? That's gonna go in a horrible
Only
direction.
wank
I'm
on
gonna
someone
leave
if
it.
they want it. Do it. Don't be boring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Safe.
Is that your only advice? Wise words.
I don't know. Don't be a dick in life.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah. Well, she might like it deep. I got to
Jesus,
stop.
bro, what is
Sorry.
going on with you? I think we need to take some time apart from this friendship. He's corrupted.
Guys.
Oscar is corrupted.
Yeah, by you.
Fuck off. Anyway,
Thanks.
don't forget, shag him before you bag him. This has been What's on Your Mind. My name is Brad, and I'm here again with my friend Oscar.
Yep.
I'm doing the outro this time. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. We'll be back next Wednesday at 10 a.m. 10 a.m.? Yes, 10 a.m. With a pretty deep subject that I'm going to talk to Oscar about. I'm actually going to talk to him about it after this episode. But I hope you guys did enjoy. Remember, don't be silly, wrap your willy. Love you, leave you. Goodbye.